going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the new Neil Blomkamp film, Demonic, a movie that I was very interested to look at because I knew about it a couple months ago, but I didn't know much about it, and I'm really not that big of a Neil Blomkamp fan because though I haven't seen District 9 and Elysium, I did unfortunately see Chappie, or as I like to call it, Crappy. And so this movie was really interesting, and it was on my radar a little bit just because of the title. And I thought it was a James Wan movie, which I think James Wan did a movie called Demonic a couple of years ago. But this is not a remake or anything of that sort. But this movie was something that I was kind of looking forward to because it looked like it was something different for Neil Blomkamp. It looked like it was going away from what he knew a little bit, but also trying something new, which I really wanted to see because I really want to see what he can do outside of his comfort zone. So I went into this film knowing absolutely nothing about the film. I didn't read any synopsis. I didn't watch any trailers. I just knew it was a Blomkamp movie, and that's as far as my recollection of the film went. So this film stars Carly Pope, a woman dealing with the loss of her mother. But when she finds out that her mother is in a coma, she gets sent to do some experience using this VR technology that lets her see her mother and try to find some closure. But there are some dark mischief with it. Now, going into the film, I was really looking forward to hate the movie because I really didn't enjoy Chappie. I like the structure that he built around Chappie, about this robot who's basically has the mind of a child, and there are people using him for good and there are some people using him for bad, but overall film that movie didn't work out for me. And so going into the film, I really was looking forward to trashing on this film and not really enjoying it. But once the movie started, I went in with an open mind because I really wanted to see what he can do outside of his sci-fi zone. But even though this film is inside his sci-fi zone, he does something different with demonic possession, and he does something clever using the technology that they use in the film. But as the movie started, I decided to go in with an open mind and decide to see what he can bring to the table, because I think he's in a vein, he's kind of like M. Night Shyamalan, where Shyamalan started really well, from Signs to. I know a lot of people don't like the movie, but I enjoy Lady in the Water. A lot of people don't, so that's where people decided that his falling off point was. For me, it wasn't until The Last Airbender. I enjoy The Happening a lot more than a lot of people. I find it like it's one of the most unintentional funny comedies that I've ever seen. But I really have a soft spot for The Happening, and I wanted to see what Neil Blomkamp could do with a different premise. And this premise is different enough. He's still in his sci-fi little world, but he does something with demonic possession that I really thought was really fascinating and had a really cool concept. But just like Chappie, that concept gets whittled down to unlikable characters and unlikable dialogue and things that you really don't expect. There are some really cool visuals when Carly Pope's character uses the VR technology. I think that's where most of the sci-fi things land for me. But other than that, this movie has very unlikable characters. There's nothing to get behind. You don't get to see why Carly Pope's character has this little has this little debacle with her mother and what that constituted. I think we got a little bit of that in the film, but I wish we could have stayed a little bit more in that VR world, because whenever she was in that VR world, that worked for me. Whenever she got brought out of it, that really didn't work for me, and the twists and turns that the characters take, it really didn't work for me. I do think that there are some great sci-fi images in the film, but overall this was a, I won't say disappointing film for me, because I knew going into the film that it wasn't getting the best word of mouth, but I was really looking forward to see what Neil Blomkamp could do with a different enough premise. Does a good enough job of bringing the concept to life, but it's the way he executes the film that really fell flat for me, and it really made me enjoy the film less. And even though there are some great visuals, which he's good at, this movie could have been a little bit better. I just wish we could have stayed in that little VR world a little bit longer instead of having her bring her back out of it and into the real world. That's where I stand on it, and overall, this was a disappointing film. I wish this could have been better. I'm not going to say this is a nail on the coffin to his career because I haven't seen the other two. But just going alone with what I saw in Crappie and in this film, I think he's great at building concepts and worlds. He's just not. He still needs a little bit more work in trying to execute the way that he builds those worlds, because like with Chappie, he does a really good job of bringing a really neat and great concept. It's just whenever he goes in a different direction with people we don't like, that's where the film falls flat for me, and I wish we could have gone a little bit more with Demonic. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Demonic a 3 out of 10. This isn't a wonderful film, but if you like the concept that he was going for, if you enjoyed what you saw in the trailers, I think you're going to have some fun with this film. But I would just stay home and rent it. This is a fun enough concept that I wish was just executed a little bit better. Have you guys seen Demonic? What did you guys think of it? I personally wish that we could have gotten a little bit more of it, but what did you think? What do you think about the twist on demonic possession? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments what you think of it. And until next time, look out for my Reminiscences review. I'm probably going to have my Protege review going up later today. Not going to be able to have time for Paw Patrol maybe. But until next time, this is Josie Reviews.